Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. Let us go around and say hi to everybody, starting with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I am playing Shah Gamelan, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries, and both my character and I use she/her pronouns.
Awesome, awesome. And now let us go over to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello, I'm Wilde Engineer. I use he/they pronouns. I am playing Shantano, an itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they/them pronouns.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I am Arras. I use she/they pronouns, and today I am playing Aroshka Ruzik, an aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, who uses she/her.
Awesome. I think I lost you for a second at the end there. Can you hear me okay?
How much did you hear?
I think we got almost everything, so I think we're pretty much good. But,
Okay.
I think we got everything except Arushka's pronouns.
She, her.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. I have also been reminded of a thing that I will deal with momentarily. Then let us head over to Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he/him pronouns, and tonight I play Mac the Husk, the non-itinerant, enthusiastic ardent of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits. Mac uses they/them pronouns.
Non-itinerant, who is presently on a train, but that's neither here nor there. It's not about the destination, but that's very cool, very cool. And now over to Danielle. Hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle at RyRacketR on Twitter. I use she/her pronouns, and so does my character Vormera Vanas. Vormera is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Awesome, excellent. There we go. So last time we were interrupted by three tornadoes. That it turned out that there were three of them that evening. The three tornado warnings that I had to deal with. Basically, so what happened was that they finished up their dealings with the engineer. They came back through. They talked to I believe she was a duchess for a while in her train car. Apparently, she had composed some music she was trying to sort out some things about. Mac summoned a demon to help accompany. They figured out where there was a harpsichord hidden in the room to play the music so that she could hear how it was. It got slightly more metal than expected. I think toward the end. Things sort of went a little. I'm trying to remember what it was that caused things to go a little. The train to sort of shake a bit, and come to a halt. Something happened. I think it had something to do with the completion of the of the song, but I'm not absolutely sure what it was.
The song made all the glass explode, including
That's
Shantano.
right. Yes. Vibrations. So the train had to stop for a moment. And so they so in the chaos of all that happening, the Duchess suggested heading to the parlor car, just to just basically get out of there for a little bit. And they started heading in that direction, though as part of the as part of the things stopping and starting and the train slowing down, that did cause the champagne flute to go flying down into the next car, where it was picked up by a ruffian who began running. and into more further back into the train, and then much magic ensued. Yeah, basically that was what happened. He got as far as the parlor car, and champagne flute went flying when they managed to use magic to suspend him. Champagne flute went sliding toward the end of the bar, off the end of the bar, and the parlor car board dived and grabbed it, and then we had to stop.
And then a tornado struck.
And then 3 tornadoes struck, and but that was just in real life. So that was so thankfully that did not affect the train. Aside from just how long we focused on the train, that's really the only thing about the train that it affected. And I think I said the train had started up again as this was going on. So that's happening. You have this currently. You're in the parlor car. You have this this fellow stopped, and I cannot remember how I described him. So at the moment in this car. The way that he looks is he's wearing a coat, sort of a long overcoat, and just very sort of basic black clothing underneath. He's actually not very flashily dressed, and yay, lungs. And so he, you basically have him mid-stride as to where you are currently holding him. And
I've already done so. I will walk up and pluck my champagne flute back out of his hands.
Oh yeah, no, you dived and grabbed it off the end of the bar.
Oh, that's right. I got it off the table. That's right.
So you're already in there. You've got your champagne flute.
Good.
And those people are just sort of kind of glancing over, and they're like, they're a little curious. And so let's see. Who is currently maintaining this hold on this individual? Remind me.
It might be me.
I think Aroshka and I cast like 2 spells simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah, I cast one that just says I subdue a being with conjured coils of rope and drain them of their will to struggle, fight, or do anything to remain still and quiet.
I cast a spell using, I think it was like gravity and obstacle or something like that to try to stop him.
Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, he's basically he is tied up right now, and is kind of I think the combination of the 2 spells has him just sort of hovering there in midair while tied up, and he's just sort of and the ropes being tied around is sort of, since they rob him of the desire to go anywhere. He's just sort of like, well, darn.
Now what?
Yes, maybe we can let him go. I don't know why. Does this guy have any obvious signs of who he might be that might indicate why he took my stuff?
Nothing obvious, I would say.
Okay.
Although, after another, as you're sort of sitting there pondering, you hear this little alarm going off.
Is there an obvious source of the alarm?
Basically it's a sort of clanging bell that is going off in the car. And you see that there are a couple of stewards are coming in, again with their green vests and their round hats, and say, excuse me, we're going to have to clear the car. Apparently there's apparently there is apparently there was some sort of brain. Oh God, I've lost all terminology. I wasn't going to say it's a fire. That's too mundane. But the thing that happens when you roll a 0. Flex. Apparently there's a... apparently the flex alarm is going off, so it would be best to be safe for folks to clear the car, please. There's apparently major flux occurring somewhere in the car.
Is this the dining car or the...
This is the parlor car where there's a bar and stuff, and people are starting to get up and move, I will say those of you who cast the spell know that you did not generate flux.
Maybe it was this guy.
Well, I have my flute back, so I'm fine to clear the car.
Oh, we can't just leave him here. Maybe we need to interrogate him.
Well, and as the stewards are coming up, they looks like there are a lot of people in here, so they're not quite to you yet. But it looks like they kind of see what's going on the far end, and it looks like they're going to probably ask you some questions about it in a moment. But just depending on how you want to deal with that.
Vor has nothing to hide from the authorities. I mean, this guy stole from her, not the other way around.
But should we take him and go?
Sure, why not? Citizen's arrest.
I have a private car we can take him to, a private room.
And he the guy just sort of is kind of looking around. He's like, hey, I think these guys are trying to kidnap me. He doesn't say it very vehemently.
We are not. He stole something.
I mean, look, they've got me tied up and everything.
I heft my champagne glass and I say, he stole this from me and I wanted it back.
All right, folks. Well, let's clear the car and we'll see if we can figure this out. Okay, let's just get everyone moved out. As they're sort of they're coming in, they're going to. This is the point, roughly, I would say, at which the Duchess is finally making it into the car, and she's like, "Oh dear, what's it?" And then she's seeing that they're starting to clear the car, and she's like, "Why are they clearing? Oh my goodness!" And she turns immediately back around, as they're starting to move you folks off.
Mac is actually going to prod the suspended would-be thief a bit just to see if he can move him around and still keep him suspended in the air.
Well, let's see. This was a combination of these two spells. Yeah, I think that once you move him, he's probably not going to be suspended in the air anymore. It's like gravity will reassert itself once you have pulled him out of there.
Okay. So Mac is going to open up.
You will still have the ropes on him, but that'll be it.
Yeah. So Mac is going to open up the two doors and then grab the guy and toss him unceremoniously into the next car over.
Which I think is probably the dining car. Is
Yeah.
And so they, so he was like, oh, just sort of do that. It's like, hey, don't do that. And they're like, sir, or not even sir. They don't know you're there. They said, please, please, until we get this sorted out exactly what happened, let's not manhandle each other. And
Like, I thought you needed us out of the car.
Yeah, I was just facilitating his departure.
And you know they're looking up. There are more stewards coming, sort of from the other direction, and they're starting to come over to. As you're heading in, it looks like a couple of the stewards are starting to go in to try to pick him up out of the other car, and move him. As you are going back into the dining car.
So they're already in the dining car, trying to move him to a different spot in the dining car.
Yeah, it's there were more stewards finally coming from the other end. Basically, you're moving from the parlor car into the dining car. He has been thrown into the dining car. There were a couple of stewards appearing on the opposite side of the dining car as well, in addition to the ones that were already here. Who are now coming in, and they're like trying to figure out what's going on.
I think I'll pull out my viewfinder, which is not used for this at all, and look around the room and say, I don't see signs of flux in here anywhere.
Could you, if you're looking around, I'm going to ask you for something, but I need to actually pull the thing up that tells me what we need to do here. Where is it? It's been moved. There it is. Okay. Oh, holy crap. Really? All right.
That's not intimidating at all.
No. No, not at all.
You always draw the best cards.
It's so the challenge rating to find this thing, as you are looking around with your viewfinder,
Yeah.
is going to be an 11.
So, I guess I will.
If you would like to find out what is actually happening in the car, but that's up to you.
I'm just gonna point out that the lowest points that I have are in perception. So I don't think that it's real likely that that's what's gonna happen in this moment. I'm happy to throw a point of perception at it, but then I still can't win, right? I would have to have 2
Yeah, you
points.
have to lower it by 2.
So no, I would say that given, and you can narrate this and however you want.
The viewfinder, I will say the viewfinder could be an asset. I could let you use the viewfinder itself as an asset to it, so
but
I
it's
would
not really
knock it
meant
down
to
to 9.
that. Like the viewfinder is
Yeah.
meant to project my ideas.
Oh, that's true.
Into the world.
Yeah.
So I think that just knowing and just knowing Shaw and kind of who she is, that what I would say happens in this failed role is that she is actually looking through this viewfinder, and she might scan right past whatever it is that you want her to see.
Sure.
But she's so stuck to her worldview that she sees what she expects to see, because that's what she's projecting.
Yeah.
And whatever camera pullback we have, she looks right at it, but is way too in her own space.
So yeah, you are seeing absolutely nothing wrong with the car.
Yes, absolutely, because that is what I am saying is happening, and therefore that is what is there. I'm sorry if that doesn't help the plot go forward.
I know. I have no plot. I was just offering an opportunity.
But you're also welcome to make that comeback to bite her somewhere in this moment for having automatically failed a roll.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I know you. So you look around and you basically tell them that there's nothing.
I don't see any flux anywhere in here. Are you sure it's not coming from another car?
And basically the one of them comes up and says, "No, this was it was definitely coming. It was definitely registering from the parlor car, and we'll do our full inspection in just a little bit, folks. Sorry about the inconvenience, but if you folks can just come out here and we'll sort all of this out." It looks as though they that these the stewards that have picked up this guy are now sort of trying to pull him to the. They're trying to separate you from him because they kind of, it's like they want to sort of question you separately type deal. I just want to ask: is anyone doing anything to prevent that, or are you just going to allow them to do their gig?
Mac is just actually going to summon Sagan.
Okay.
Just have his familiar around. And he's actually going to ask Sagan, "Hey, could you look around and see if you spot any signs of flux around here?"
Around here? Yeah, sure. And he's like... And while Sagan is looking, is there anything anyone else wants to be doing, as they're kind of trying to settle folks down and they're getting people, to like come in, and some of them are sitting at tables and stuff.
Exit, or like Vor will go to wherever everyone else is sitting that's being evacuated from this car and immediately start making friends and also drinking.
The so you're an acquaintance of yours. He's also a weaver. And his name is Elias. Basically, he had been setting up the spiders game earlier. So he's in here now. So at the very least, he will see you and sort of
Yeah, Vor will cross over, and presumably the game is now set up, so they can just start playing. Like,
yeah, pretty much. He's basically he's sort of looking around. I'm gonna say he's basically he's wearing kind of a just a sort of a brown and ash colored suit with a bowler hat and a pocket watch type deal. He has blue skin that is somewhat glass-like. So he's as you're doing this, he's sort of sitting up. Hey, what was all the trouble in there?
Somebody decided to try to steal my champagne flute as I was giving a performance.
Oh, I think it's champagne flute from was it from that party?
Oh yes, have you been?
I have once, a while back.
Yes, I took it with me, and it's been delightful, and I really just it's a treasured possession. I didn't want to lose it.
Yeah, so. That's wonderful. I didn't manage to. I managed to snag. Do I have it around? Oh, I've got it. I do have it. And he sticks out his hand, and this beer mug appears in it. He says, "Got something a little similar last time on my last trip I was there."
Oh, well, that's delightful.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Made a few had to make a few modifications, of course, but
Yeah, Vor will clink her glass with the ever-filling beer mug.
He's not really a champagne guy, but he will slam down he will slam down dark beer like there's like no tomorrow.
This is the weirdest drinking at this table. Slamming dark beer and champagne.
Yeah. But as this is happening, Yeah, and I think probably as you kind of talk as you're playing, you will get the sense that he thinks that there's a few people are a little tense on the train. He's not sure exactly what the deal is. He's sort of kind of observed that. So, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna be a little. It's gonna be a little odd. There. You can see that they've got the thief at the far end of the car. And they are. And you see they are cuffing him, and they're trying to slowly, get rid of the ropes, which I assume are going to just sort of stop existing at some point.
Yeah. Specifically, there's a depletion check that I haven't been doing.
Do you want to maintain the ropes, or do you want to let them go? It's up to you.
Probably not, if he's in custody.
Yeah, they've got him in custody now, it looks like.
Yeah, probably not then.
So the moment you drop
I'll watch them trying to take them off and be like, oh, sorry.
Oh, all right. Yeah. And the moment that you drop the ropes, he immediately begins struggling and trying to get away from them. And they're like, not so fast. they've kind of they've called in a couple of the bigger ones in basically to try to hold him. And he's just sort of saying there, I don't know, these people these people were trying to kidnap me. I don't know exactly what was going on, but it was ridiculous. They're just sort of they kind of turn into a couple of these folks, these strange faceless individuals whom I have yet to really well, they're not actually faceless, but they will come over and they'll start turn to, I guess, since Aroshka's right there, like, okay, so what happened from your perspective here?
So we were playing music with the Duchess, very exciting, and then my friend dropped her very important item, which this guy stole for unknown reasons, and then immediately started running away. So we stopped him and got the very important item back. And that's when you showed up.
And just sort of they'll come around and they'll start asking folks to corroborate what you just said. And so they're going to first go over to Vor, and they will ask, okay, can you tell me as you're playing the spiders game?
Yeah, Vor like keeps playing, and she's like, well, I was giving a social performance, you understand, and it got a little bit more robust than anticipated, which of course set my very valuable champagne glass rolling. And this man over here picked it up and tried to steal it before I could get to it and recover it for reasons unknown to me.
So, wait a moment. You're saying that you are the one that caused the train to have to stop?
No, I did no such thing. I merely played a piano piece.
But you said that it did something that made the champagne glass go flying, right?
I got a little enthusiastic, but then the harpsichord vibrated a little bit.
Okay.
And of course, this man stole it, and I had to go chase after him because who steals another person's champagne glass, honestly?
Not even a full set.
And the guy's just sitting over there. I just caught it, okay? I caught it, and then you were running at me, so I decided to run.
You could have turned around and given it back.
And they're like, I didn't know it was yours. And
Vor turns back to the porters and says, honestly, you have some security issues on your train, which I really think you should look into.
They're sort of shaking their head. They're going to come over to to Mac, and they're going to say, "Sir, do you want to? Can you sorry. Can you excuse me? Can you corroborate these? What's going on here? Were you with these individuals?"
These people, and he points to Shah, Shantanu, Vor, and Hiroshka.
Yes.
These
yes.
people?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. These people.
I've never seen them before in my life.
Okay. All right. Fine. They're going to move over, and they're just going to continue on. They're going to move over to where Shantanu. Excuse me. Were you with these individuals? Do you see what happened?
Shana's just gonna look at them and like open up the bag. He's like, "Can you tell which pieces are me and which aren't?"
Oh.
You just sort of look down. Oh. Did you have an accident when the train stopped? Was that
During the train stop? Because yes.
Oh goodness. Okay. We'll have to we can get
Get a lawyer.
our medic out to try to help you with this. We're so sorry. So sorry about that. And they immediately start calling for the train's medic. They will then kind of move over to where Shah is, and they'll be like, hi, excuse me, were you with these individuals? Did you see what happened?
No, I was busy trying to talk to the people in the Duchess's car to try to explain to them that there's a really grievous design error in the Duchess's car that should really be fixed. So I came in late and I missed exactly what happened, but I promise you that whatever Aroshka and Vor told you, they're very, very honest people, and I'm sure that whatever they told you is exactly what happened. You can trust them. And I do know that was definitely Vor's glass, and she definitely deserved to have it back. Absolutely.
I see.
Are you going to get someone to help him? And she's going to point over to Shantanu again.
Yes, the medic's coming. At this point, by this point, the conductor has actually arrived to hear basically the stewards make their report to her, and they start questioning the Duchess.
No.
Oh dear.
Says, "Oh yes, I'm afraid it was all my fault. Is that I'm afraid that this piece that I've just written is unfortunately a little too dangerous. Things went smashing and flying everywhere." "Oh, it was so you caused the train to stop." "Well, I indirectly, I suppose. It was a lovely performance. As they performed it exactly as I wrote it, I think, on the performance of harpsichord and demon." And they said, "Wait, demon?"
We're on a roll.
"Oh yes, they summoned a demon to accompany the harpsichord."
So when they say this, I say, I don't know exactly how the demon got there. And I just kind of like casually glance in Mac's direction. I said, but you should probably look at whomever it was that summoned that demon, because I'm sure that's where the problem came from.
Your Grace, you don't have a harpsichord in your room. You know from when you were last with us that harpsichords are very dangerous for conveyances like this.
How can a harpsichord be dangerous?
And says it has to do with, and the conductor at this point is going to come sort of look over, and she says it has to do with the sorts of notes they hit. Not quite in resonance with the rhythms of the train. You leave a harpsichord.
That's clearly another design flaw.
You leave a harpsichord unattended, even if it's not on a train. You leave a harpsichord unattended for too long, it can start tearing holes in the fabric of everything. You've got to be careful with them. This is why we had to have the stringed purges a few years back.
Excuse me?
Oh yes, it was just a bit before the war. I think we had to round up all the harpsichords and sequester them.
Oh, well, that seems tremendously unfair.
Well, those were difficult times.
That is what they do say in those circumstances, those people who round things up. But I understand.
So
Mac just stands there slack-jawed.
they're just sort of like,
Wow. And they say, I have no tact.
they're kind of like looking around and they're like, wait, what? There is a brief moment. I need to make a decision of some kind here. I know. So you are so whoever it is that is attempting to convince the stewards of their side of things, and it's really convincing the conductor more than anything else. This is a challenge of 5. And so who wants to lead on it, and who wishes to help?
I mean, I'm more than willing to take the lead if anyone else wants to.
You seem like a good choice for convincing people of things.
It's true.
I mean, I would kind of think this would be for Vor because Vor it's Vor who was robbed, but I just wanted to leave it open.
Not lying. She's just eliding the truth gently to make herself sound less at fault for the harpsichord incident.
Yeah, I feel as though then you should probably make the roll, so it's going to be a challenge of 5. Is there anything you would like to throw at that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, there is. First of all, there is my level in charm.
Mm-hmm.
Then so that brings me down to 4. I will spend another interaction bene.
Okay.
So that'll bring me down to 2. I think I'll roll it 2.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So they are sufficiently convinced that they are actually going to search the thief, and at a certain point they begin turning out his pockets, and all manner of things come clattering out that he has been taking from other passengers.
I gestured all the things.
Aha.
I'm like, see, you have a massive security problem on
And
your
they're
train.
like,
I think you have
all
bigger
right, they're going, and as this is happening, you do note as they're sort of like dealing with his coat, whilst this is going on, a thing that you will note happens, is that they're sort of like, he's kind of like, turning around kind of rapidly as this, hands kind of in front of him, as this is happening. He's sort of resisting. There's like, sir, and it's hard to see exactly what's going on because there's a cluster of them around him at this point. But you hear sort of this clicking sound, and then you see that apparently they're like, hey, wait, where did he go? As they're looking, and you see that they've got his coat, and two of them are now handcuffed together at the wrist.
Wow.
And you see him diving through the far door.
I take the moment to
car.
look at the conductor and be like, seriously? This is the worst train ride ever. And
There are probably some things we should do about security. Yeah, sort of looking at that. And she pulls out a whistle and she blows it. And they start running after him.
Vor's contemplating whether or not she can get her ticket reimbursed.
It's the worst experience I've ever had on a train. Never been on a train before, but
Yeah, or if she can get her ticket upgraded. That might be better.
It's a great question, really.
It's probably going to take that up with, like, one of the porters later.
And at this point, I think Shantano and Shaw kind of, the Duchess kind of is hovering near the two of you. And she just sort of leans down. You don't think he was trying to kill me, do you? You might have been sent to kill me.
I don't think anyone's been sent to kill you.
Are you sure?
I do think that he was here to take things, but not lives. I don't think those don't go in pockets very well.
Yeah, I suppose not.
What? Why do you think somebody's trying to kill you? Is it just because it's happened before and you just got used to that idea? Or is something going on that maybe we can help with?
I can definitely help with that if that's what you want.
I don't think she's looking to be murdered.
She keeps asking about it.
That's true.
she's trying to avoid it, though.
She says, I'm just heading to my old family estate. There's some things I need to I'm trying to recover some property that I lost when it happened.
Where's your family's estate?
Marilyn.
And we're going to.
You're actually headed. It's on the way. Let me open the map again, and I will perhaps understand what it is that I am looking at.
I think when Mac interjects, Shaw turns around and says, I'm sorry, and you were? I don't think we've met.
My name is Bill.
Oh no! We're crossing the streams!
And she just like raises one eyebrow and like double clicks her mask shut across her face and says, I see.
Look, I thought the cops would have, understood sarcasm.
Right, since when?
It's going to be just past Moloon. So it's going to be like just off the edge of the map.
Oh. Well, if you want people to escort you to your estate for your safety, you could hire us.
Or you
That
can
might be
hire us.
necessary if there are more ruffians on this train.
I mean, we do have to get to Yesterdale in a timely fashion, but I suppose we could help you if needed. But I'm very curious why you think you need protecting to go home. Does your family not want you to be there?
Well, we've had a certain number of disagreements about things, and it's entirely possible.
What kind of things?
And at this, she is she is going to just sort of look around and says, "Well, I'm concerned that they." Sure, why not? I was concerned rather they had gotten in with the wrong crowd.
Well, that's the worst. I mean, if they fell in with like something like the Church of Midnight, I would certainly be.
The Church of Midnight? You've not seen signs of the Church of Midnight, have you?
Extreme. Oh, I've seen signs of them.
We believe there might be a few of them on this train.
Is that who you're worried about?
Well, among others, there's some. Not the church necessarily. Well, I mean, the church I am rather worried about, but there's this other. It's difficult to explain. Feel the hand of something else. But the hand of the Church of Midnight is frightening enough. I shall tell you what. If you need not escort me to the estate itself, but if you can put a stop to whatever it is that they're doing, whilst they're here on this journey, I shall. I should. It's then I should be very. I should be very grateful.
Of course, we'd look into it and make sure that you're okay.
Certainly. I mean, we're no friends of the Church of Midnight.
That's true.
She nods, and she's like, "What was it? Do you have any idea what they're here doing?"
Kind of look around and lean in and say, "Not really. I think that they wanted to do something that was going to prove a thing, show them, teach them. But I believe that it involved something that was not very nice.
Sending a message.
That was it. Sending a message.
Well, I
They wanted
tossed someone off the train.
Oh,
Yes.
And she's like, "Yeah, they're here for me. They're going to try to throw me off the train."
Well, we're doing our best to prevent that. Obviously, we don't want anyone to be thrown off the train. Except maybe the folks from the Church of Midnight.
Thank you.
I should very much. I should be very grateful if you take steps to prevent this, and I shall. I should, but if you would, just I am going to go back to my car and barricade myself in. If you don't mind terribly, knock using the following rhythm, so that I shall know it's you. And she raps out this sort of staccato rhythm on the this sort of. It's not really staccato. It's more. Well, it's basically, and she's like, and she nods and she says, "There are vultures about everywhere," and she will turn, and unless anyone else has anything else they want to talk to her about, she's going to start heading back. She feels as though she really needs to get out of here, so she is starting to turn to head back to her car.
So Mac is going to take out his notepad and pencil and just say, do one other question. If we do end up throwing the Church of Midnight off the train, is there a particular message you want us to send?
She stops. She has to stop to think about that for a moment. Naughtiness does not pay.
Consider it done.
I love her so much.
She nods. Then she turns. And she heads back out the car.
I do think we should talk to her at some point about this greater hand that she thinks might be involved. It makes me think of, things.
What kind of things?
Machine-y things.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we should at least try to deal with the church. Maybe go talk to this seer that
Right.
that Barris mentioned.
Right. Then we'll find out if maybe this thing and the other thing and the engineer thing are all the same thing, which I hope it is, because otherwise that's a lot to solve on a train trip when we just wanted to have some drinks and play
It would be very
checkers and-
convenient if it was all the same thing.
I agree.
One-
Indeed. I think I'll grab a not ever full champagne glass and clink Vor's glass and chug back the champagne and be like, all right, let's go find a seer.
It's very strange. It's a very strange thing.
Vor will finish up her game with Elias.
Yeah. Do you want to try to win?
I mean, Vor always wants to try to win. That's the whole point of war.
Okay. The difficulty to win against this gentleman is a challenge 7 task.
All
He
right.
is
Well,
very good.
Vor has a level 3 skill in game theory,
That's true. So you can knock that down.
so I can knock that down to 4.
Mhm.
Mac is going to help cheat.
Yes, I love it. It's like feeding Vor information.
Oh dear. What are you doing to help cheat? You're just gonna basically
No,
try to
he's
see.
going to have. He's going to use Sagan to.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. That's. And you can't do anything about that because if you can't see him unless you want him to. Okay. So we'll count that as an aid toward a situational aid. So I'll knock that down to a 3.
Nice, very nice. I hadn't roll it at 3. I mean, this is just a game. I don't feel like don't feel like a need to.
Not a huge amount in the way of stakes.
Actually, no, I lied. So Vor has her ability to read the thoughts of one being within close range. Is it
Ooh.
possible for her to use that to pick Elias's strategy out of his brain essentially and turn it against him?
So let me see. Does he have resistance? He does not have he has +1 defenses. But let me just double check to see if they mean that as shorthand for. If defenses includes resist or not.
Resist is separate, I think.
I think it is.
Physical.
Yeah. If defenses. Yeah. So that's so yeah, you can use that as well.
Yes, it's a level 2 ability.
So it's a level 2 ability. Okay, so you need a 1 or better.
Yep. I got it.
Okay. Now, something I need to do here is I need to draw a card. Because I just want to, it seems to me, in part because of the way this is written, that there should be something insightful coming along with winning the Spiders game. And I shall explain why in a moment. You just look over here at what it says on the Spiders game. It's played on a complex set of at least 4 and as many as 9 boards at once, with a variety of specific pieces representing different moves and combinations depending on the piece and the board it currently occupies. It Take many hours to complete, is an intricate in the extreme, showcases each player's creativity and deep thinking. Those who excel at the game think many, many moves ahead and remain aware of a wide variety of possibilities. Although non-weavers can play the game, most do not. However, all weavers own a copy of the game and can play with other weavers as often as they can. Okay. Alright. So, I'm imagining this sort of three-dimensional chess/talisman thing going on. And I'm going to draw a card. Because I can. Interesting. Okay. And now, we shall see what the card is. The card that I have drawn is the Misremembered Dream. Its meanings are confusion, mistakes, change in identity. Dreams are strange constructs of our subconscious, made stranger still because we don't remember them clearly. Some say that in shadow, people's dreams seem strange because they are remembering the actuality, and in the actuality, people's dreams resemble the mundanity of the gray. This is at least in part true, but of course, like anything having to do with the deepest reaches of the mind, it's much more complex than that. The line between memory and dream is already tenuous, but the memory of a dream or the dream of a memory, who can count on that? Yeah, it's confusion or mistakes. They don't need to be confusion or mistakes. The person in question represent the poor memory of anyone. Okay. All right. Cool, cool. Yes. I think that as you play this and you see the different pieces move and you have sort of thoughts and insights, you are reminded of a thing that you had not remembered up until this point because it happened very close to the time that you went into shadow. You have remembered a detail of a piece of your former life that was connected to your apprehension. It was connected, or rather your correction, I should say. What that is precisely, I cannot tell you. Only you can tell me that. So that's for you to kind of flesh out, and hopefully let me know what it is. You don't have to do it right now if you don't want to.
Think about it.
But that is a piece of something you recovered because it happened right after you did this exact same thing with this exact same person. You were playing this game with Elias. And then we had this thing happen that is in your memory. And it is related to, doesn't have to be like immediately when you are apprehended, but something that is related to it in some way.
Does that include my participation in this game?
It might. You could include, if you wish, you may include any of the other PCs in this, but it would make sense to include Mac if you want to, just because he participated. They participated in
Yeah, that would make sense. I suspect it will have something to do with the Church of Midnight when I eventually decide on what it is, but
mayhap. That's up to you.
Since that appears to be where we're headed with Vor's backstory.
One never knows. But in any case, so that's a thing. What happens? And so you folks were getting up and getting ready to head. Where were you heading toward the garden car? Was that what you were talking about doing? Is there anything else you want to do before you do that? Or do you want to just head straight there?
I think
But,
I'm not beating my spiders.
Am I getting medical help?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for
I
reminding.
was like,
Thank you for the reminder of that. Yes. The train does have a does have someone who will come and sort of they'll be looking at your this person has sort of long spindly fingers and wears this kind of these sort of goggles that are some kind of medical goggles. It's hard to know, but they use magic for everything, so you know. And is coming down to try to sort of figure out what the deal is with your separate the you from the not you. And this fellow just sort of looking around is like, and is there some, does it change in a particular pattern?
Kind of changes every time. I'm always getting new cracks and new pieces breaking off. Normally it's pretty easy to come back together, but I don't know, this time everything broke, and I guess somehow got mixed up. It's never happened to me before.
Do you recall? It is difficult, but it seems that which has the greatest resonance for you would probably be the correct thing. That is what I'm seeing here. So I believe it is this one. You say, picking it up slowly. To reintegrate it properly, you shall need to... It would have to... It is a thing that should be possible. I would recommend carrying it until you are at a point that you are changing naturally, but that you have an understanding of what is... of the effect upon you and how the change is going, and you can reincorporate it at that point. I would recommend waiting until then and not trying to force it.
Guess I'll just carry around a bag of meat then.
Well, this is the piece.
Oh, so none of these other ones?
I think that's just glass. I think these others are glass. This I believe is the one that is the piece that seems to hold the same resonance as you.
I wonder why it couldn't reform with me.
That I cannot say. Did you recently have some sort of something happen to you where you had a very particular change of self? Did you try to push it in a particular direction?
You mean by making myself smaller or bigger?
Maybe, or it could have been that, or if you had some sort of, I don't know, some sort of particular vision you were trying to head toward, or...
Oh. I'm sure it's nothing. It'll be fine.
I should say be careful, and it's the nature of your change, as best I understand it from others I have studied, would be such that you must not force these things. They happen when you are ready for them to happen.
Yeah, honestly, it could be a number of things. It could be the time I shot out the cannon, the time I went into that machine that I wasn't supposed to go into, the time I went into the book. I'm sure there's more. I can't think of all of them right now.
You have, yes, there are a number of activities that might test you, that might cause such a thing. These are all possibilities, but I would recommend perhaps only not diving forward to risk life and limb necessarily until this is integrated once again. But it is up to you. Some of us find the answer may be simply to dive ahead at a thing and incorporate it then, but that could cause further damage potentially. It is hard to know. Just, I would say, whichever you do, make sure that it is a point at which you know where you are going, but do not try to make it where you are going. If you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Either wait for a time of no danger or jump into danger. Either might work. Thank you, Doc.
Yes. But either way, do not hold a preconceived notion. That is what I am saying.
I understand.
Very good. Well, best of luck to you. Sort of pats you on the shoulder.
I guess we'll just trudge back with her to the other car with everyone else.
Okay. So, heading back to the parlor car. Through the parlor car, which is being, people are allowed back in. Apparently you hear that the thief apparently is, they chased after the thief and the thief jumped from the train. By the time they got to where he was, they knew he wasn't there anymore. But as you're heading toward the back, the train, a little time has passed. The train actually does stop again, but this is a scheduled stop, so it doesn't do it violently or anything. It stops at Tev Abias, or Tev Abias, depending on which side of the room you're standing. That's kind of a major intersection, so a bunch of people are getting off the train. It's a major intersection on the map, I'll say. It's a smaller and newer city than Saturnine. But it's apparently where the migrating towers spend their winters before fluttering off to their homes elsewhere in Indigo. So it changes in size. Right now, I do not think it is winter, if I recall correctly. But there are a few winged towers still out there that you can see. So a bunch of people kind of are getting off. So the train is now down to, as you're kind of headed toward the back. Basically, half the passengers that were on it to begin with at this point. So, as you make it past into the into that car, or past you're passing through the parlor car again. basically as this. You're kind of in stride, sort of almost matching stride. The only person really is right ahead of you is this guy, also wearing a bowler hat, but he's sort of a dark suit with a bowler hat, and he's got a large purple frog on his shoulder. It looks like about the size of a cat. He basically, I think, Vor probably also had a brief moment to chat with this gentleman as you were making friends with people going through the cars.
Awesome.
So you heard his name is Corian.
Corian?
Yeah. The man, not the frog. And apparently he has something to do with a library. Apparently you heard people going up to him, it's like he has access to some kind of library.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking notes.
Sure.
Good player. So is he like standing alone?
Well, yeah. At this point, he's never alone. But he and the frog are kind of sort of tips his hat, and he's heading back to he's over at the bar. He's moving toward the bar, basically.
Oh, well, that's Vor's natural habitat. Bars and casinos. So Vor will go join him at the bar.
Okay. Now, I will say the garden car is a little further down, but it's not very far from here. So you're fairly, you've got a few more passenger cars, and then you would hit the garden car.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we are technically heading.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to remind that's where
you're
we're
right.
all headed.
We have a mission. We have a thing to do. Vor will go say hello to him just briefly and be like, "I have a thing that I have to do, but will you be here for a bit?"
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Well, then I'll be back in like half an hour or so.
Right, no, I shall be here. Okay. No, we shall be here.
And then Vor will continue toward the garden car.
And the frog also nods and tips its hat. So you all head back toward the garden car. Going through a few more passenger cars, you finally hit this car. So the garden car inside and out is made of flowering plants. The walls are entwined stems and vines. The windows are transparent petals. The heady floral smell will get even stronger if you sit on any of the seats that are in there made of blooming flowers. And the click-clack of the train is quieter inside the garden car because of the leafy, flowery wheels that it possesses. And you see this prophet who by this point you've all sort of heard of as Lacia the Eye. Has a tattoo of an eye on her forehead, another on the palm of each hand. And she's seated at a table in the middle of the garden car, one of those sort of metal garden tables, basically. You know the type, the sort of generally painted white and meshed tabletops. And she has a cloth wrapped around her. She is blindfolded. She's wearing this sort of gauzy type clothing. Sort of a patchwork of colors. And You see at the table that some people have left, like, money. Some people have left, like, items of food, it looks like. Some people have left drinks, presumably in payment. And she raises her head when you come in. Do you require assistance?
I feel like I should have been more prepared with a gift. But we have a question for Boris. Come over and...
Oh, yes.
Oh, I've got... by the way, I have a gift. I will pull out the Rat Minister of Garbage's wig. I have had in my inventory for ages now, and present this super fancy wig as a gift.
Oh, that's very nice.
It's a specialty item.
It's for a very small head.
Yes it is. Its owner had an unusually small head. It's really more decorative than anything else.
Huh. Interesting. Huh. I predict that the wearer of this wig is going to have a very important future.
That would track with what I know based on how I acquired it.
Excellent. How might I assist you? Do you desire to see the future?
I look around at all my friends. I'm like, I think we more need to know about the present. There's a calamity that Boris, the engineer, was worried about. Is calamity the word? I think it was calamity, a problem, and he wanted to know if maybe that problem was now. Some sort of an existential threat to the train.
Oh. Interesting.
But maybe that's the future. Maybe he didn't mean now. Maybe he meant soon. But soon's so nebulous.
Soon. Soon is one of the strangest countries anyone can visit. For how do you know when you've arrived? It is an odd thing, is it not?
Yes. Very, very odd.
Do you want to know the future of the train?
I suppose that's what we're asking.
We're trying to determine when a particular danger will arise.
She nods. Yes, I see. I see. Well, I shall consult. And at this point, she takes the lid off of a sort of a clay pot that she has sitting at the center of the table. And she strikes like a match, and she uses it to light some substance that's inside the clay pot. And you see this sort of slightly green smoke rising from it. If you will be seated, I shall cast the vision.
Of course it's. And tries to get a good whiff of that, if she can, on her way down.
Shaw sits and holds her breath.
Two different kinds of people.
Yes,
there are two kinds of people, those who smell the smoke and those who hold their breath.
That's right.
All things considered, Aroshka doesn't want to have any more visions, so she's going to sit as like far back as she can, but still be polite.
It's yes. How is everyone? What is everyone else doing with respect to the smoke and the table and all that?
I mean, Shanta would probably just breathe it in, see if at least an experience.
Yes, join me.
Yes. Yes, have some. Okay.
Mac is going to sit down next to Shaw and give her a friendly pat on the back that would disrupt, maybe, or try to disrupt her held breath.
Yeah,
Be like, you got to remember to breathe in these types of tense situations, Shaw.
I think that she's like so tense at this point with like the awkwardness sitting down at the table that you smack her on the back and she startles and goes,
Oh my god. Awesome. Okay. Just quickly checking something so that I can be certain of how a particular thing is going to work before I provide the oracular reading here. Yes. Yeah, that'll do. All right. I'm going to draw a card now. And so the card that is being drawn. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. The card that is being drawn is the Imprisoning Ice. Its meanings are entrapment, imprisonment, danger, conflict. We've had this not too long ago. The very environment holds you fast when you're trapped in the ice. You cannot move and the cold threatens your life. You can't persuade the ice or trick it. You can't fight it. It's besting, or bested in a contest. The ice is impersonal, unrelenting, and vastly powerful, even though nothing more than frozen water. Yes. Interesting. In divination, it means danger lies ahead. All right. So, those of you who breathe in the green smoke will note it is a slightly heady scent. You don't actually feel very different, except there is this light sort of... It's this slight feeling as though, very lightly, the dial on all of the colors around you have just been turned up by one notch. It's just been turned up by one. So it's not up to 11. But let's say if it was on 5, it's now on 6. Everything's a tiny bit more sparkly. She says, as she's swaying back and forth, as she has been inhaling these fumes, and she says, it is complicated. I see that there is perhaps a time coming when the train will have difficulty. But all shall be well until the end times. Boris should not have to worry about... And at this point, then she immediately goes... and the eye blinks. And when it opens again, it's a slightly different color. And she says, as she's sort of looking at it, as she's staring forward, beware the rattlesnake.
Vor will ask,
Rattlesnake.
what is the rattlesnake?
She knows. She knows of the unwritten.
Is the rattlesnake she?
Yes.
Is she on the train?
No. But the encroaching ice. When the encroaching ice falls upon the train, she shall strike. And she stops and she sort of collapses. Oh, not she doesn't collapse, but she's like, one of you desires a future written in blood. And one of you walks hand in hand with an arbiter of death. Forgive me. Sometimes the visions are not completely clear.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
Mac is just staring at Sagan.
Sagan went off to find something a little while ago. Didn't yeah.
Oh, he didn't return.
Well, no, he's back. But
okay.
As soon as he came back, you got him to help cheat, so he kind of forgot to give you the report that he was supposed to give you about Flux. So he still has to tell you about that, but you will have to remind him whenever you because he has forgotten.
What is Arbiter of Death? Just stares at his crow spirit companion.
It's like, well, that could be a lot of different things, but I'm something that whoever it is that decides to kill somebody. I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like death gets a bad rap.
They
Or
say
just
that,
looks at Shantano and just shakes her head.
yeah, they say that there's like an embodiment of murder walking around somewhere. It could be that. I don't know.
Oh, where?
I don't know. Well, actually, Mac is quick question: is is Sagan visible right now?
No, he is not.
Okay. But I'm going to say that Shantano heard that all anyway for some reason.
But nobody else did, so it's just out of the blue.
Yeah.
Shauna looks around and says, "He is where?"
And Sagan is like, what the? Oh. He shuffles a little bit and he's like, sorry about that. And now only Mac can hear him. Just had to make a quick fine-tune adjustment.
I sort of look at everyone at the table and I say, I feel like there were... Like, we asked a question and I feel like we got information, but I don't feel like it was very helpful. Is that the way this usually works?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it seems
Prophecies tend to be vague.
Oh.
We'll have to
That's
figure
why
out.
people think they're so accurate, because you can just, twist them into whatever result you want.
I guess
Exactly.
I would be wary once you're done wherever it is that you're going. You're going to the end of the line, aren't you? Once you're done there and it is when you are coming back, that is when I would be careful.
Oh. Is that the time that Boris should be worried too?
I think so. There's a contingency in there somewhere. I couldn't quite see it.
Aren't we doing something involving ice?
Oh, yes, we are, aren't we?
That's a very good point.
Are we the encroaching ice? Or are we bringing it?
Maybe.
Oh, I can't imagine it would be us.
Well, we're not a catastrophe.
No.
Definitely not.
Shaw
Never.
puts her hand on Aroshka's and goes, I understand that we all have difficult things in our past, but we're the good guys.
Yeah. Who found Limerence Street? He just gestures at everybody at this table.
Anything that happens around us is purely circumstantial.
There's no evidence that can be, and any kind of disaster can be lined up at our feet.
I mean, heroes show up where there's problems. That's what heroes do.
Exactly. It's just a simple matter of confusing cause and effect.
Yes.
You see at the back of the car, not the back of the car, you see at the front of the car, someone else comes in. A woman comes in and she's carrying a, what looks like in tribute, another tribute payment. It's a lampshade. That she's carrying in.
Cheapest prophecies ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess our turn is over.
And
For your wig was much cooler.
Oh, thank you. It's not mine, technically. Well,
Well,
I
it
want
was.
it. Well, yes, I think our turn is over. Thank you, Lacia.
I'm sorry if I could not be more specific, but that is the nature of these things.
Well, at least we know enough to tell Boris that they need not be worried just yet.
Right. It also does sound like whatever's going on with you know, the people throwing people off the train does not have to do with the existential threat to the train, so it sounds like we have more than one problem.
Well, perhaps we can solve our problems with other problems.
I like that.
So we get to throw off more than just one person off the train?
I'm glad you understand me so well, Mac.
I mean, if it's just us and the front train with the governess, that should be fine, right?
Who needs all those other cars?
I think we should see if we can figure. Well, this ought to at least get Voris to slow the train down, so we will have less to worry about with the Church of Midnight.
Right. Thank you very much, Your Seerness.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And she seems to have now fallen completely back into her more self-assured version of herself.
As we stand up and walk away, I can't remember if Vor shared with us the thing that she had written down about the unwritten.
I had something written down about the unwritten.
I had like a message that had to do, like, back in the days of the Keyfall. You had like a message from your Grand Poobah.
Oh, from Lady Volt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Thank you for the reminder. Wow.
I guess I just can't remember if you told. I feel like you mentioned it at something.
I definitely think I did mention it.
Yeah. So I think that Shaw will be like, did she say something about the unwritten? Didn't your person send you a message about the unwritten?
Yes, and Vor probably still has the message because it wasn't actually that long ago in game.
Yeah.
She'll pull it out and she says, "Yes, it's here." Lady Volt spoke to Her Elegance, and the message was, "The capstone has come off. The unwritten are loose."
So, if this rattlesnake knows about the unwritten, and that's what makes her dangerous.
I think we need to find out what the unwritten are, first of all. And you know someone who has access to a library.
Really?
Yes, we just passed him not a few moments ago, and I promised I'd go back to have a drink with him. Maybe he would know something.
To the bar?
I'm always down to go to the bar.
Did we open it yet?
Yeah, they've reopened.
Did we ever figure out what the flux was?
Well, thus far, and it depends on. Well, that's a question. Actually, are you asking that out loud?
I am asking that out loud because we just said we were going back.
Yeah. So Mac, you are reminded that Sagan has not told you yet what he found, if anything.
Oh, hey, did you find that flux?
Oh no, there wasn't any. Somebody broke the flux alarm in there, though.
Really?
Well, yeah. It's you know how they have the little hammer next to it that you can break it if you break the glass if there's an amount of flux that's going to cause an accident. Well,
can you show me where this thing is?
Yeah, somebody broke the glass. Yeah, I can show you. It's no problem. Yeah, and so he'll just sort of flap ahead of you.
All right. Mac is just going to wordlessly follow.
Yeah. And I mean, you're all headed in the same direction anyway. You're all headed back to the parlor car. So you go through a few more passenger cars, and then you get back to the parlor car. And as you get in. Once again, the bar is hopping once again, as it were. So the sounds are a little bit, the sounds of the bar again, the sounds of the train as you come out again are a little bit intensified. Again, it's up to 6 instead. It's a 6 instead of a 5. A lot of the bottles are shiny, a little bit shinier. As you, Corian is still sitting at the bar, kind of chatting with some folks. You will see, so Mac, you will see Sagan fly up to this. It's kind of like, it's not exactly a sideboard, almost is, but it's just a little bit above kind of this sideboard that's kind of, I would call it a sideboard, except it's pretty high up on the wall, fairly high up. I mean, you can reach up, you can still reach it, right? But it's near this sideboard where there are a bunch of bottles. And it looks a lot like a fire alarm of the old type that had this little hammer hanging next to it, and it's, and it says, in case of egregious flux, break glass. Or it would say that, except that the glass has been broken.
Huh. Is there any sort of evidence around there that I could notice that would lead to the identity of the person who broke this glass?
Make a CSI roll for me, please. No, this will be. Wait, let me give you the challenge. Let me find the challenge rating real quick. I think this is probably going to be a little tough, but let me just double check the rating on the challenge here. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to say it's, I'm going to say, I'm not going to add any of these other things to it because it doesn't really, this is more like going back in and checking afterwards. So it's going to be a challenge rating of 7.
Cool. So Mac is going to do the thing that he always does when he has a problem that he cannot solve himself. And he begins drawing a summoning circle on the floor of the car.
Time to break out the chalk! Luckily, you're doing this at a time where there's kind of a run on the bar because they just reopened it, so no one really is noticing. I mean, it's been open now. It's been open for like half an hour to an hour, but people are still kind of coming up to the bar pretty. So right now, no one of import is noticing that you're drawing this circle.
Sure. As he is doing that, just running through the list of people that might be able to help, or spirits that might be able to help. I think he's just going to call out to a random angel.
Okay.
Who may or may not be interested in solving mysteries.
Okay. You see here. All right. While you're doing that, because this is going to take a few minutes.
Yeah, so he's going to summon his max level.
Ooh.
And that's going to be level 6 spirit. Should be about 6 rounds.
Okay. All right. So you're working on that. While you're doing that, the others who will come up and you will see that this is basically the guys at the bar that Vor was talking to earlier. Vor appears to be heading toward this gentleman. And let me see. Yeah. Sort of turn, he tips his hat again. Ah, yes. Yeah, sorted out everything that you were looking for, yes?
I did. In fact, I actually have a question for you. Maybe I can buy you a drink in exchange?
Oh, I would certainly not turn down a drink from one such as you.
And she'll order like whatever is like the hip cool thing on the menu. Like maybe one of those things with the cool ice cubes. I don't know.
Yeah.
That looked cool earlier.
Yeah, they have. They basically have like they have whiskey with still have some of those train ice cubes going.
She'll order something with the train ice cubes that's like a hip cool drink, and slide it over to him. And she says, "Now I know, of course, you're not." You're off duty, so to speak, but I had a quick question.
Yes.
Do you know anything about something called the Unwritten?
The Unwritten?
Yes.
Sounds dreadful.
Doesn't it, though? The term's come up a couple of times in passing conversation with a few folks, and no one seems to know what it is, and I thought perhaps with all of the special access you have, and she kind of does like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge here, you might know something more.
Oh, he says, well, not off the top of my head, but it might be in the library somewhere.
Do you have any means of finding out?
Well, certainly, if you'd like, you can go in.
Oh, I'd love that.
Right, yeah. We'll just he's starting to. He's doing something to the frog, where he's just sort of stroking the back of its neck. Before we resolve this, I'm going to move over to. I'm going to move back over to Mac real quick. Mac, you are the angel that appears in the circle. You're summoning a level 7 and level 6, right? Level 6, level 7?
Level 6.
Level 6. Okay. Yeah. So this angel appears as like a column of golden mist. With wings. And you can see sort of a head. And a sort of a shadowy head and body within this column. The angel will look down and ask, why am I summoned here?
Oh, I just have a small mystery that I would like assistance in resolving. I can exchange your insight for a drink, maybe, as he gestures at the bar.
The angel just sort of narrows their eyes, and they look over at the bar. And they look back at you.
I think it's fair trade. All I need to know is have a means to identify the person who tripped that flux alarm over there. I believe that that person did so under false pretenses, and my sense of justice will not allow for such a thing.
Three drinks.
Okay, but I need you to tell me who did it before I give you the drinks, because I don't want the drinks to impair you as you assist me in meting out this justice.
Agreed. The angel turns and gestures in the direction of the alarm. And you see the mist comes off and swirls around the alarm and forms into shapes as the angel appears to be just sort of looking backwards to see what was happening. You see these shapes that resemble, and again they're tinged with gold, right? But they come, zooming back up and into the as things go backwards, zooming back up into these pieces of glass to make the alarm look whole again, and you see this figure that is about. This figure is standing on the sideboard because it's only about that big. It's about... about 3 inches high. And it looks exactly like the thief, but a 3-inch high version of it. Coming up to the alarm, picking up the hammer, and smashing the glass.
Huh. So he's just musing aloud. So that thief actually caused the alarm, which caused the train to stop, and it wasn't the harpsichord?
Well, Sagan kind of on your shoulder is like, I don't know, the timing, that this alarm went off after the train stopped for the first time. The train had already gotten going then. Or we could say that if you think that would be a better story. Maybe?
I'm just trying to figure out the timeline, because this appears to have happened before. I mean, the way it seems to me is that this happened before the thief got the champagne flute.
And Sagan's just sort of like, oh no, this is a copy. No, the guy can make copies of himself. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, just from the look of this. I think this guy can make tiny hymns.
Well, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it kind of is, actually.
But he dove off the train already, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what they said. Well, no, not when this happened, but
No, but after.
After, yeah. Now, yeah, it's they security said that he ran off. I had a little fly around. I didn't see him anywhere.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Angel, what do they call you?
What do they call? Anak.
Anak. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. If I were to offer to amend our deal to an open bar for you for the rest of the evening, would you be able to bring this person into custody on the train?
Do they have those little ice cubes that run around like little trains?
They do.
Done. And at this point, the angel will just immediately, like, flow upward and up, seemingly through the roof of the train, and has apparently gone to apprehend the criminal.
And Mac is just going to hold out his fist to Sagan and just says, "I love being a goetic."
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he will wing bump your fist. Meanwhile, the Vor and everyone else standing there talking to the gentleman. Once more to Corian, I believe his name is. He's introduced himself as Corian Marsh while he's doing some sort of a thing. You know, he's kind of rubbing his frog's back, and he says, "This is Unga. Come on, Unga. Come on, Unga." And the frog will hop down onto the bar and open its mouth. And it just keeps opening and opening and opening. And the tongue comes rolling out, forming a thing not unlike a carpet. And inside the mouth is what appears to be a long corridor lined with full bookshelves.
Mm-hmm. Vor looks at Corian and says, "Well, that's a terribly convenient entrance."
He nods and says, "Yeah, well, when one is a librarian and one needs to travel, when one is a librarian and one needs to travel, one makes do with what one can."
Well, so it's an extremely clever solution. I applaud your ingenuity.
He nods. "Oh, many thanks, many thanks. Took a little time to get to the to get the co-location appropriately set up, but we all that licensing, you know, but managed it."
Vor knows nothing about licensing as a weaver, but nods like she does. So you don't mind then if we pop in just quickly and take a quick look around?
And he just sort of raises the drink that you bought him and says, "Oh, but of course, feel free."
Well, thank you so much. And Vor will, clink glasses with him, and then turns and looks at Shah, Aroshka, Shantanu, and Mac. If Mac's paying attention, I don't know exactly how involved Mac is with his angel friend at this point, and indicates the library. Quick, John? Go see if there's some information.
I'm definitely going to look for information.
Would I have noticed the angel appearing in this circle, or is that not a thing that would be visible?
I think it's visible to, well, actually, that's probably up to the angel. So yeah, probably, you probably noticed that.
I think Shaw instantaneously becomes basically a golden retriever, looking at the library and looking at the circle and not knowing what to do, and looks at Mac and is like, "Is the angel coming back?"
They are, but I might need your assistance in securing the thief.
Oh. Why are we... I thought we didn't want the thief.
Oh no, we do, because he set off that flux alarm for a reason.
Yeah, I told the conductor that this was a problem.
Okay. You guys can
But
leave
the
and
the angel will be here for the rest of the evening because I promised that I would pay his bar tab. So,
Oh, delightful.
Yeah. And he likes those ice cubes with the trains. So
Who doesn't? Those are incredibly classy.
So good. I wonder if they play cribbage.
I'm sure you can ask Anok when he returns. Once we, bind the thief.
Got it. Well, should I stay with you then? Are they coming back immediately, or can we go look up the fate of the world real quick?
Huh.
There's a lot.
Oh, there is a certain amount of time dilation. There's a certain amount of time dilation. Corian will say as he's kind of seeing this conversation because you're not that far away, and says, "It's if it helps. It's for every half hour out here. It's an hour in there."
Ah.
Oh, well,
Nice.
okay. Well, Sagan, then I have a task for you.
Yeah.
Would you be so kind as to accompany Shaw and keep your link with me? And when the angel returns, I will inform you.
Okay.
Sure thing, boss.
And then I'll come right back.
Will do.
And he will instruct Sagan to appear in animal form.
Okay. So Sagan will, just so I understand, you're sending Sagan into the library with Shaw. Is that what's happening? And you're staying
That's
out
right.
here? Okay. So yeah, Shaw, a raven appears on your shoulder.
Oh, I love ravens. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Well, thank you.
Nods. And I think as you are, as a good portion of the party is, whilst one of the party is waiting for an angel to come back with a thief, and the rest of the party is entering the frog. I think that is where we're going to bookmark it for this evening.
Frog.
Is it sticky?
Oh no, it's perfectly dry. It's a portal.
Good.
that
I'm
works.
so glad.
I mean, you wouldn't want to ruin all the books. You know?
Yeah, totally.
All the
totally,
books
yeah.
are all covered in like
Untenable.
amphibian slime.
The key here, by the way, was buying Corian a drink, because it even says that if someone buys him a drink or perhaps lunch, then he'll allow access to the library without
Nailed it.
charging anyone. So that's how you do this.
Thanks.
This is what Vor does.
Excellent. All right. So we will enter the frog next week and see what glories await inside the frog library. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. So feel free to tell folks any. Oh well, actually no. Wait. I got to keep remembering to do this. Now we will do Joy and Despair.
Oh, yeah.
This also counts for last session. I'm just counting last session and this session is kind of the same one because tornadoes. So we're going to go ahead and go around the usual way first to do that check with folks. So, Djinnaya, do you think that Shah has gotten, either this time or last time, any joy or despair?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's like little halfway things, but I don't think so, really.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to head then over to Wilde. Do you think Shantanu has gotten any joy or despair?
say probably some despair from having that peace outside of them.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing.
And realize that this is actually the start of one of the arcs I purchased.
Did we actually stumble across an arc?
Yes. One of the Splinter into Fragment arcs that I got was Splintering leads to physical corruption of form.
Ooh, okay. So there is potentially potential acumen coming here.
I think that would be part of the opening. I would get one acumen from that.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Excellent. Silence, Google. For some reason, sometimes I say things and my phone thinks that I'm asking it for help. Okay, cool, excellent.
This works under the cleanse character arc.
Okay, excellent, very cool. All right, so we have that then going. So yeah, definitely, yeah. If that's the first step, then yeah. So Arras, has Arushka earned any joy or despair within this last couple sessions?
I don't know if it's really a big enough thing, but I kind of feel like I might have gotten some joy from my new spell working beautifully.
You captured you did a good thing. You captured a thief.
Did.
So
And
absolutely.
my new spell worked.
And it worked. So yes, joy for you. Excellent.
Huzzah.
And Anino, do you think Matt got any joy or despair today?
I say he gets joy because he summoned the highest level spirit that he could since he was promoted to 3rd degree.
Yeah, that's fair. Joy for you.
And he's getting them drunk.
That's true. The angel will be drinking later.
He was basically Shaw's wingman there because he just arranged a little nightcap date with an angel. So
I don't think that's quite Shaw's feeling about angels, but you know, whatever.
I mean, that wasn't the plan up until you said it, but now. I am looking even more forward to next week now.
Oh dear.
And Danielle, did Vor get joy or despair?
So I think it lists in the Weaver section of the book that winning a game of spiders is like always like a cause for joy.
Yes.
Amongst the Weavers. So
Yep.
Not only did winning this game of spiders, not only did she win, but she has regained a memory. So even if that memory is terrible, which it probably will be, she still has gotten some memory back. So I would say it's a joy.
And it was the fact that winning the Spiders game gives joy that actually prompted me to make that part of it, because it's like there's got to be a reason. So that was yeah, definitely. All right. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're not quite to the edge of that yet, but soon. All right. Okay, cool. That's everything there. So we shall now go around and do our outros. Feel free to say where folks can find you and any final thoughts you have about this session. And we shall start with Danielle.
Hi everybody, I'm Danielle. I'm at RyRaconTour on Twitter, where you can follow me for all kinds of various nerdy things. Right now, this is my only stream game, but in a couple of weeks, I will be back at Roll for Change on Fridays for the Portland Files, which is a Dresden Files RPG game, as well as on Saturdays earlier in the day for Star Wars Vagabonds, which is played in Fate. So you should come check those out in a couple weeks when we come back for season 3 and season 2, respectively.
Awesome. And did you have any final thoughts about this session you wanted to?
I'm just really enjoying this train ride. I think it's really it's a nice enclosed setting for us. to explore and kind of get to know the ins and outs of. So I'm really enjoying this train ride.
Nice. Very cool. Okay. And now let's go over to Anino.
Hey everyone, my name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. You'll catch me here again tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. for Ghosts of Saltmont. And I kind of regret my recent purchase at Mage Hand Press because I shared it with our GM, Alyssa. And now she has both the new fantastic Felines version 1 supplement as well as the Mimic Book of Mimics. So we're kind of boned.
Oh dear. Thank you so much. I so look forward to the mimics. Awesome. Did you have any final thoughts about this session?
Yeah, I think it's really funny because I don't know whether or not I'm playing Goetics the way they should be played. In which I am basically just letting them do all my dirty work in exchange for really bad, weird deals. But I don't know. I feel like I'm treating this like Craigslist or something.
I mean, it's a valid way to play it, particularly in this campaign. So
I'm really curious. I should watch some other games and just see like how other people are playing Goetics because
that's fair.
I have no decorum as one.
Yeah, I've seen it done one or two different ways, a couple of different ways that just sort of will depend on a few different things. But one of the ways was more as sort of a con artist type deal. So it's not too. If it's off the mark, it's not off the mark by very far. I think it's totally. It seems perfectly valid to me. But it is interesting. It is interesting to see. We're now going to summon a level 6 angel to help us solve this crime. I mean, that's interesting to me. So I think that's it's valid. I think. Now we're gonna head over to Arras.
Hello, I am Arras, or Animus Panther, or Animus.Panther, practically everywhere. I'm a zoologist, and I like cosplay and gaming, and I love talking about those things, especially on Twitter. This year, I'm giving away a set of dice every month. It is the second, and I have forgotten to set up the May giveaway, so you have to wait for that one. But if you check out my Twitter, you can see that whenever I get ready. The only place you can watch me playing games on the internet is right here on Saturdays playing Visible Sun. But you should definitely keep doing that.
Yay! Awesome. And we will now head over to Wilde.
Hello, I'm Wilde Engineer at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Aside from this game, on Saturdays you can catch me in the mornings for some D&D set in Tal'Dorei on Pro Restarters channel. We are currently going through individual characters, time away arcs for some growth, and some stabbing characters with knives that we gave the GM. Yay! So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Cool. And any final thoughts on this session?
There's a lot going on. It's very interesting. I hope I didn't cause any of this, but I'm pretty sure I did.
One never knows.
Who knows? I'm pretty sure death is not the same as murder. They're totally different concepts.
Completely different people, not related to each other in any way.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is fine. And finally, Djinnaya, how's it going?
It's okay. Hello, my name is Djinnaya, and I play good games with nice people. And you can find me on Twitter, where honestly right now I'm just talking about stuff, because the world's kind of like full of stuff right now. and you can find me back here next Saturday. And I enjoyed this session. I also am really enjoying being on the train, not just because I really like trains, but also just because it has this sort of like thematic feel to it. Like everything has this I don't know, it's not like a trope, but like a feeling that you can immediately sink into being on a train. I really like. And I feel like I finally just hit this point with Shaw, which is something that I really like in characters, where I get to points where they're gonna fail rolls, and I'm like, yeah, let's fail this roll. Like, that idea of like, how do you make it interesting and fail forward instead of that feeling of like protection? And
Yeah,
I'm excited.
very cool. Yay! Awesome. Okay, and as for me, I'm Jim. I am. Let's see, what else is happening? There we go. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. Tomorrow, our afternoon one-shot is going to be, if I can get it all together in time, Seco Creek Vigilance Committee. That is basically 310 to Yuma, the RPG. It's a Western, but it's a character drama, diceless, about dealing with these prisoners and the people around, and the choices that you make, basically, after you've picked these prisoners up. So very interested to see how that goes. Then, of course, tomorrow night we have our regular Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw, run by Alyssa, which is delightful. And I have a terrible feeling we're going to see the label "Now with More Mimics" on there very soon. Could be now with more cats. It could be that instead, but I have a certain apprehension about the future, and I perhaps will be visiting the garden car soon myself. Monday nights, I am over on Salty Sweet Games playing in their new D&D 5e game, A Strange Invasion: Assault on the Barrier Peaks, where I am playing an angry dirt wizard. We're going to get to fight a displacer beast. It'll be so much fun. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, we're still going to be skipping Las Vegas because we are still kind of on hiatus between acts, as we're gearing up for the final act, which I will be running. So no afternoon game on Tuesday, but in the evening, Tuesday evening, we are starting up May's mini campaign, which is going to be Call of Cthulhu. We're going to be doing mostly world building stuff, sort of session 0 stuff on this coming Tuesday, and then we're going to do a 3-session arc like I usually do with these. And I'm very excited to see how that goes. Wednesday nights is our Masks campaign, set in the fictional city of Doctropolis, run by Molthulu. We're still, real life stuff still going on, so we'll have to see what happens this coming Wednesday. Hopefully it'll happen, but we shall see. Then on Thursday nights, we have our new short campaign of The Sprawl being run by guest MC Brian. We got in the last job went very well, very surprisingly well. So it's all downhill from here. So I expect there to be a lot of joy and danger as that continues. And then, of course, we're back around to Saturdays when we have more of this. Sign-ups right now no sign-ups are actually technically open. I know I need to change the sign-up page. But very soon I'm going to throw sign-ups up for a game called Become, which is written by Dylan and Arras, and that is about basically being an AI investigator, an AI who is an investigator, so I'm very interested in checking that out, and I'll get sign-ups up for that soon as I've kind of in my head worked out how I want to schedule everything. But when we do have sign-ups going on, that's you basically go down and click on RPG sign-up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign-up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to Kobold Press. They're doing a charity stream for Extra Life, looks like, for as part of also looks like CobaltCon 2020. So I figured I'd go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.